the question I wanted to ask you, Kieran. So look, you got Sark on a couch. Y'all are chopping it up. And he turns to you and says, Kieran, you were right before everybody else was. You're one of the more knowledgeable voices in college football on the planet. Give me one piece of advice. I'm going to write it down. The thing that you would tell me I could or should tweak even a little bit would be what?
Wow. That is a loaded question. Are you saying advice on just like being a knowledgeable college football fan, or just
anything you want? I was thinking Texas themed, Texas directed, but you go with it wherever your heart desires.
Okay. I would say, man, I was gonna give you a long speech about loyalty, but I quit on the Cowboys, so it's kind of something. Look, wherever the wind takes you, ride with it, man. That's it, you know. So whether it's you know what I mean, whether it's a bad season, a good season, whether it's a down time at your job, whether it's a dark time in your love life like Valentine's Day yesterday for me, you know, you just gotta ride with it. You can make the most of whatever's happening, you know. I would say, man, that's a loaded question. Yeah,
I thought it might be something like as simple as take fewer 3-stars, Sark, but you.
I would say, man, I'm giving them just straight life advice.
I know this Valentine's thing messed you up.
It really did. If I'm talking to, if I'm asking them, or if I'm really giving them real advice, I would say, be more Reid, less Shanahan. Meaning,
that's great advice.
Meaning,
that's the best advice I've heard.
I'm telling you, because I think when you really look at it, I think Kalen DeBoer has more Reid in him than Sarkisian has more Shanahan in him. And I would say for Sark, it's got to be less about this is my system and this is what I want to do. If you watch, like I was watching the Mic'd Up yesterday when I was working out of Patrick Mahomes, like talking to Andy Reid. Before and I watched this for all 3 Super Bowls that Patrick Mahomes has won. Whenever it comes to key times in the game, key plays, wherever it was, when it was the 3rd and 17 to Tyreek Hill, when it was one of the plays on the red zone against the Eagles last year, and then also on the 4th and 1 this year, it's always a conversation between the two. What do you like the most here? What is it that like I can do? Reid is almost hands off. It's more like, Pat, like, how are you feeling about this? I think, Sark, you've done your job developing your quarterback. I think you have to let the reins loose. Let him go out there and do his thing. And also, trust your players to do what they do. If they're feeling a certain way, I'm sure I know a lot of players feel like, you know, we should have maybe run the ball more a little bit in this situation. If they're asking for that, let them do it. I feel like he's more of just like I don't know if this is 100% true, but I think just watching it and then seeing his play calling, I think he's more of a dictator out there in terms of like what the offense is going to be. And I think a lot of the times those adjustments need to happen a little quicker. And I think that just comes from having a better understanding of what your players are wanting to happen. So I would say, yeah, be more Andy Reid, a little less Kyle Shanahan, even though both are geniuses. I think sometimes you get stuck in your way in the heat of it. I think Sark can adapt with the best of them outside of the actual moment. You know, like you've seen it time and time again. He improves in his RPO offense. He adds different running elements. Like it's always adapting and changing. I want more of that in the game. I think that would be the one thing that I give him there. And then also, let's start recruiting some 5-star defensive tackles, bro. Like I don't know, whatever we got to do, let's throw a bag at it. Bo Davis is officially on my shit list though too. I have to talk about this. Look, love Bo Davis, awesome guy, whatever. Bruh, you land 1 5-star in the 3 years that you were a Texas Longhorn assistant. And one of them, and the only one that you landed was for another fucking team. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Another team was LSU? Bruh, what are we doing? Hey, listen, stars don't mean everything. My boy Alex January is about to start lighting stuff up. You know, Duncanville, born and raised. You know what we do. Texas legacy as well. I think we got some dogs back there. We're gonna be fine. But I want to see that rotation that Georgia has. I want to see that rotation that Alabama in their prime had. Like I want to see that rotation to just killers on the defensive line, and I want to dominate the trenches the way that we do on the offensive side of the ball. I think our offensive line can go head to head with anyone in the country. I want our defensive line to be the exact same at every position, all across the board. And you don't even need like first rounders like crazy. So maybe it isn't the stars. Maybe it's just more development, because Michigan moved mountains against Washington's offensive line. They made them look like trash. And at least our edges, it was just kind of underwhelming from the pass rushing perspective. But more development, more highly ranked guys, and I think we've done that on the edge. But at D tackle, I need some more dogs. I do.
So Chad, just for the record, my favorite thing about Kieran content, period, whether it's on our show or not, is that we went from he made a great point that made our heads explode, and I was thinking to myself, we'll rename the title of the video "Less Shanahan, More Reid," and we'll get a thumbnail created where like Shanahan's crying and Reid's like, I don't know, right? Like and then out of nowhere, therapy session. It's like from enlightenment to give me a couple of minutes to say, what the fuck, Bo Davis?
Yeah.
Seamless. It just happened.
Because the thing is, when Bo Davis came here, the narrative is he's a bag man. He's like, he's going to get all the big, nice recruits and da-da-da-da-da. And he missed for 2.5 straight years. He did. Look, don't get me wrong, because from the development standpoint, you can't complain whatsoever. And I also think I'm a little salty because I am going to miss him as a developer. I don't know what we have coming in terms of development, but I know for a fact Bo Davis did a phenomenal job with Byron Murphy, with Tamondre Sweat, with Vernon Broughton, all of those guys. Like every single one on the defense in the defensive interior got better. So I'm a little salty, but also at the same time, damn, what are we doing? Come on.
I'm with you. You are speaking as always. You're a voice for the people. Yeah. I promise you, at least 5 people just said hallelujah as you finish your last sentence.
Yeah, and Catch, I'm gonna go Costanza. I can't top that one, so I'm good. That was phenomenal, and it got more phenomenal as it went on. I'm with you. I thought it was phenomenal, and then it just kept getting more phenomenaler.
Phenomenaler.
Kieran, don't be such a stranger. We got to get you on. We can't let 2 whole months go by without you coming in, getting a Bo Davis hot take off your chest, and then enlightening us. I'm going to think about less Shanahan, more Andy Reid for the rest of the year. It is going to be in my brain. I'm going to be in the middle of Texas games this year, and I'm going to be thinking, oh, he's doing that Shanahan thing again. Come on, big Andy Reid.
That's what I'm saying.
That brick wall.
And
like
the thing
the Kool-Aid man.
The thing is, too, it's still relatively early for Sark to make that change, too. You look at, Andy Reid lost in a Super Bowl before. He was losing in the playoffs before because he couldn't get out of his own way at times. You look at Kyle Shanahan, though, 3 times in the Super Bowl, man. 3 times in the Super Bowl. Look at the reason why they lost the game and compare it to why Texas has lost some of the games that they've lost, especially against Washington. You're just not running the ball, bro. You're just not making the adjustments, whatever it needs to. I
feel like we said that on Sunday at some point. It's funny how those things happen.
They're both the thing is, both of those guys have forgotten more football than we will ever know. They are absolute geniuses when it comes to the football stuff, but maybe sometimes they overthink a little bit. And that's one thing that I think Andy Reid, he's the greatest play caller in NFL history, but also he doesn't overthink it. Okay, I'm going to leave this in my players' hands. What do you guys like? What do you want here? I have a super duper special quarterback. I have a Hall of Fame tight end. I have a great offensive line. I don't really have crazy weapons, but at the same time, I don't need them because I have these guys that are special and they're capable of doing their job. Great offensive line. I'm going to be able to do what I need to. So he lets those guys be them. And that's the thing. Your job as a college football coach is to get them there, to develop them. When they get to that point, man, you gotta let the reins loose. You got to let them do what they do.